Imagine this for a second. What if learning didn't feel like punishment? What if studying didn't feel like dragging a sleepy brain up a mountain while your phone laughs at you from the table? Sounds fake, right? But here's the weird part. In Japan, many students don't study longer than you. They don't rely on crazy motivation. They don't wait to feel ready. Yet, they remember more, stress less, and stay consistent. Today, I'm going to share 5 Japanese rules that make learning feel almost effortless. Not magical, not complicated, just simple ideas that quietly rewire how your brain works. And trust me, some of these will make you say, wait, why am I not doing this already? Let's start. Rule 1. Learn a little every single day, even on bad days. In Japan, there's a concept called mainichi sukashi, which basically means a little bit every day. Not study hard every day. Not be perfect every day. Just don't break the chain. Here's the key idea. Consistency matters more than intensity. Let me explain with a simple example. Imagine brushing your teeth. You don't brush for 5 hours once a week, right? You brush for 2 minutes every day. Now imagine if learning worked the same way. Instead of, I'll study for 3 hours on Sunday. Japanese students think, I'll study for 15 to 30 minutes today, no matter what. Even if they're tired, even if the day was bad, even if they feel lazy. Because here's the secret. Starting is harder than continuing. Once you sit down for 10 minutes, your brain goes, oh, we're doing this now. And suddenly, 10 minutes turns into 25. This rule removes pressure. You're not asking, can I be amazing today? You're asking, can I show up for 10 minutes? And almost everyone can say yes to that. That's how learning becomes effortless. Because the goal is tiny. Rule 2. Separate learning time from testing time. This rule is powerful, and most people completely ignore it. Japanese learners clearly separate learning and testing. What does that mean? Learning time equals it's okay to be confused. Testing time equals check what you remember. But many people mix them together. They open a book, read 1 page, immediately quiz themselves, forget something, feel stupid, close the book, go to YouTube. Japanese students don't do that. When they're learning, they allow their brain to be messy. They read, they listen, they watch. No pressure to remember everything instantly. Then, later, they test themselves. Here's a simple example. Let's say you're learning English vocabulary. Bad way. Read 1 word, test, panic, repeat. Japanese way. Read 10 to 15 words calmly. No stress. Then, after a break, ask, which ones do I remember? This does 2 things. 1. It reduces anxiety. 2. It trains your brain to recall naturally. Your brain learns better when it feels safe. Stress tells your brain, this is dangerous. Calm tells your brain, this is important, store it. That's why this rule makes learning feel lighter. Rule 3. Make the environment do the work, not motivation. Here's a truth nobody likes to hear. Motivation is unreliable. Some days you feel motivated. Some days you feel like a potato. Japanese students don't depend on motivation. They design their environment. Environment means what's around you when you study. Let me show you what I mean. If your phone is next to you while studying, you're not weak. You're human. So instead of fighting temptation, Japanese learners remove it. Phone in another room. Desk clean. Same study spot every day. Over time, the brain learns. When I sit here, I study. No debate. No drama. It's like muscle memory, but for your mind. Here's a funny example. Imagine trying to eat healthy while keeping pizza on your desk. That's not discipline. That's torture. Japanese learning culture focuses on making the right action the easiest action. When the environment is right, you don't need hype. You don't need willpower. You just sit and start. Effortless doesn't mean 0 effort. It means less resistance. Rule 4. Don't chase understanding. Let it grow. This rule feels strange at first. Japanese learners don't rush to fully understand everything immediately. They accept partial understanding. And this is huge. Most people think, if I don't understand this now, I'm bad at it. Japanese students think, I don't understand this yet. They trust repetition. Here's a simple example. Think about how you learned your first language. Did someone explain grammar rules to you as a baby? No. You heard words again and again. Slowly, patterns formed. Japanese learning uses the same idea. You read something today. You understand 40%. You read it again next week. Now it's 60%. 1 month later, 90%. No panic. No forcing. Understanding grows naturally, like muscle. This removes frustration because you're not demanding perfection from your brain on day one. You're letting time do its job. Rule 5. End every study session with a small win. This rule is sneaky and brilliant. Japanese students often end study sessions with something easy, not hard, not confusing. Easy. Why? Because your brain remembers the last feeling. If you end with, I'm confused and tired, your brain says, studying equals pain. If you end with, oh, I know this, your brain says, that felt good. Next time, starting becomes easier. Here's how you can use this. If you're studying math, end with problems you already know how to solve. If you're learning a language, end by rereading words you remember well. This creates momentum. It's like leaving the gym feeling strong instead of broken. Over time, your brain starts to want to come back. And when learning feels rewarding, it stops feeling heavy. Why these rules work together? Here's the beautiful part. These rules aren't powerful alone. They're powerful together. Small daily learning removes pressure. Separating learning and testing removes fear. Environment removes distraction. Allowing confusion removes frustration. Ending with a win builds motivation. No rule screams, work harder. They quietly say, relax, just continue. That's why learning feels effortless. Not because it's easy, but because it's sustainable. Final thought. Let me say something important. Effortless learning doesn't mean fast results. It means you don't quit. Most people don't fail because they're dumb. They fail because learning feels painful. Japanese learning culture focuses on one thing. Make learning gentle enough to last. So don't try all 5 rules at once. Pick one. Just one. Maybe today. Study for 10 minutes. End with something easy. Then stop. That's enough. Because progress doesn't come from doing more in one day. It comes from doing a little. Again, and again, and again. And before you know it, learning won't feel like a fight anymore. It'll feel normal. And that's where real growth begins.